Hi everyone, holding space. It's 101 for working on your own inner stuff, your own inner psychology, and for working with the inner stuff of other people. And inner stuff, I mean by the difficult things, so the difficult emotions, the subconscious um, patterns, habits that you have, thought loops, all sorts of stuff. Thoughts that maybe are difficult and hard to shift and stuff like that. The more you're able to hold space for your own inner work, so your own maybe depression, anxiety, they're the two main things that people usually struggle with. Anger can be as well, and all sorts of things. Disgust, rampage, shame. Shame's a big one. Shame's in most people, and all these emotions have really important lessons, and they're actually there for you when you're being feeling like you're being smashed by that emotion and drowning in it. It feels like it's not really for me. It's actually messing my life up. When you can ask it questions, when you find out what the wisdom of that emotion is and why your mind has gone into that emotional space, and really to find an answer in a certain energy, you go, wow, that's awesome. And you find that once you get the answer, you're starting to come out of it. So it starts to rebalance already. So being able to hold space for other people, we'll use other people for an example, it means that you're not trying to fix them. You're not trying to fix them at all. And that'll come across as, when someone's telling you their story or their problems that they're having in their life, you start saying, you know what you need to do? You need to do this, this, and this. So you go see this person, go see that person. I think your problem is this. Can I just say this? And like you're just trying to put in something to fix them, give them some advice when they seriously have not asked for it. People will ask for advice if they need it. You don't need to tell them just, ask me for advice if you need it. They'll come and talk to you. They probably don't even want to talk to you. It's like you don't represent someone who's educated enough to work with their stuff or be able to be present enough without judging their stuff. That's the biggest problem with mental health. And people talking about it is that they know that the person they would like to talk to, maybe someone close to them, just cannot hold space for that kind of emotion, that kind of thinking. It's like they know they'll be judged or they'll be rejected. Things will change, dynamics will change. They know that. It's like, why would they come talk to you? So don't be asking someone, giving people advice when they haven't asked for it. So holding space, it means that you're really present with someone. You're just there. You're really listening to what they're saying. You're not thinking in your head what you're going to say next while they're talking. You're just present, and he's like, "Yeah, I hear you. I understand that. Really sucks. That must be really tough to go through. I can relate to that in my life in some level." Um, Saying these kind of things, that's helping people to hold space and just really allowed to express what's inside of them. What tends to happen when you really hold space for someone is that they start coming up with their own answers, and they even will say, thanks for letting me talk. I feel a lot better." And the all it was just the power of holding space for someone, just someone to actually listen to what they're saying. A lot of people don't have someone who they can talk to. So there's a couple of problems with holding space when you're not good at it or don't really understand it. And there's three things. One is that when someone's telling you their story, you feel like their pain or their problems or the emotions they're talking about will overwhelm you and drain you, especially if you're an empathic person. So there's certain exercises you can do to help improve that so that doesn't happen. So I work with about 26 to 30 people a week. Some sessions are highly spiritual, some are really deeply emotional, some are purely physical. But whenever I touch a body, I'm touching psychology, and I'm not drained by it. I used to be before I understood how to work with it. So there's certain things you can do to stop yourself from being drained. Number two is that when people talk about their inner stuff, especially might be real dark stuff like suicide ideation, depression, high level anxiety, panic and terror and stuff like that, or just rampage, it can trigger stuff inside you. That's why you're not comfortable with hearing what they're saying. So that it's actually an invitation for you to work on that stuff inside yourself if you want to do that. And it'll expand you if you do. And number three is that people feel like if I keep engaging with this person, just let them talk about their stuff, their story. It's like people think that they're talking about things to get pity. A lot of people aren't after pity. Some people are. Most people don't want to be pitied. They're trying to work on their stuff. They're trying to understand what's going on with them. That's why they're talking about it. Yeah, and that by you not giving them advice on how to get out of the hole, because maybe you can see something that they can help get them out of their hole, that if you don't say it, that the person will be enabled by that, and they'll just keep telling the story over and over and over, which people do. That does happen. So initially, when people start telling you their life story or problems going on in their life, listen to them first before you start giving advice. It's like the power of holding space is often enough to change it. But if it's been, many sessions, many talks, and they're really stuck in the same stuff, and they don't look like they're actively getting answers or pursuing it, and they're just really reveling in being stuck, that's quite a common thing, and that's okay. The person's trying to figure out something. They're learning about stuckness. That's what they're learning about. It's so simple. They're learning about stuckness and what it means, and all the things, all the thoughts, emotions, and limitations that are there because of being stuck. That's what they're learning. Yeah, I'll talk more. There's 3 levels of empathy: sympathy, empathy, and spiritual empathy. So that's highly related to what I'm saying. So I'll tell more of that in another talk.